Hello and welcome. Now in this course, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be discussing all of the ways that you can use private label rights, or PLR, to make your online business more profitable. Now, private label rights, and other people call it PLR, it gives you leverage to create more content, more products, and authority with whatever time constraints you are working with. And the need to be prolific with promotional content requires that marketers have new and accurate content on a regular basis. In other words, in order to really get your message out, you can't rely on one message. You can't rely on one social media post. You can't rely on one blog post. It really requires that you are consistent with content, consistent with products, consistent with information that's going to be helpful to people. Now, PLR is available for that, and it's available to those folks who do not have time to research and create this content on a regular basis. So if you had to come up with all of the new ideas, you had to come up with all of the different ways and examples that these new ideas can be applied, you'd probably run short of time, and that's where PLR is at its best in helping you to be able to accomplish that. Now, PLR content is licensed to the buyer to use in their business as if it were their own. So in other words, you are getting in PLR the right or the ability to take what you're given and to either rewrite it or repurpose it or reuse it and use it as if you were the person who came up with the idea. Now, the buyer doesn't have to pay royalties or credit the seller once it's purchased. So in other words, you go out and you purchase this PLR. You don't have to credit the person who wrote it. You don't have to credit the organization you buy it from. It's literally yours to use as you see fit and to credit yourself as if you wrote it. Now, typically, it's sold from one person or one organization to many people. So the PLR content product can routinely be sold to as many as 200 to 300 people at the same time. Now, how is PLR defined? Well, one of the ways that PLR is defined routinely in the marketplace is private label rights. Now, private label rights gives the buyer the right to use it as if they created them themselves. You can also buy what's called resale rights. Now, resale rights gives the buyer the right to resell it, but sometimes without the right to change it in any way. So in other words, you don't necessarily have the latitude to edit it or make it your own. Master resale rights gives the buyer the right to resell the product. So in other words, you buy the product from the PLR creator and then you can sell it to someone who then has the right to sell it again. So it actually is a way of creating more value in the product. Sometimes you can define PLR as personal use rights. So you're really getting the right to learn from or benefit from the product directly. And in some cases, some vendors will give you unrestricted rights. Now, this gives the buyer the right to use it or change it or resell it in any way. So why is PLR such a great value? Well, one of the things, as we talked about, when you've got to create and you've got to come up with all of the different ideas, PLR can really save you research time. It can also save you preparation time. So in other words, you don't have to go through the process of getting all of the blog posts or doing all of the videos. You actually know the information, but then you don't have to prepare the content. PLR can provide the buyer with a way of instantly creating additional value. So you can add PLR to an existing information product you already have, giving the buyer something else, and then instantly creating more value. And actually, in some cases, you can even charge more as a result of adding the PLR. PLR can give the buyer expertise on previously unknown topics. And this is one of the best ways to use PLR. If you want to become an expert on a particular social media topic, you could buy the PLR, learn what's in it, and then use it in order to create content or information products. So let's talk about the ways in which you actually handle PLR once you buy it. So one of the first things you should do is really read and understand the rights certificate. Typically, any resale rights product, PLR product, they're going to give you all of the ways that you are legally able to use that product. And you want to read that rights certificate carefully. You want to make sure that you are within the bounds of the rules created by the seller. Second thing you're going to do is you want to take note of the components you have. So did you get videos? Did you get a cheat sheet? Did you get other content? How are you able to use this content? So you want to make sure you understand each and every component that you have and how you were able to use it. Third, now, what you want to do is archive those components. So you want to make sure that they are put away or filed away in a way that you are going to be able to access it when you want it and when you need it. And so that when you can search for it, you'll be able to find it based on your own personal filing system. And that's actually fourth. You want to label that component archive so that you can easily search it. You want to make sure that anytime you want to find a video on a certain subject, that you're able to easily find that based on your filing system and your archiving system. And of course, in conclusion, having this PLR available in a system that makes sense to you increases the likelihood that you'll be able to find it and use it. Now, that's how you are going to get started with using PLR. Now, in the rest of this course, I'm going to be talking about how you can take that PLR or any rights product and maximize it to your benefit, regardless of what you want to do in your online business. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to be discussing using your PLR to create email and autoresponder content. Now, one of the best ways to use your PLR content is to provide content for your subscribers in your autoresponder. Internet marketers typically send emails out to their subscribers on a daily basis. But it can be difficult to sit down and write something that teaches something substantive every single day. You can easily use written PLR to create a series and spread it out over days while giving your buyer a call to action at the end. Of course, you can also use video content to deliver lessons to your subscribers by loading the content into YouTube and providing a link afterward. You can do the same with audio content, providing a link for a number of days to some helpful content. Now, if you'd rather personalize all of your content that you're putting inside of your email, you're still not having to research the idea if you remake the audio, video, or the writing. Now, this is something that you can repeat throughout the year when you'd rather not create the content that goes in your email or you decide to take time off. Now, the idea with autoresponder content is to keep your subscribers engaged until they're moved to become buyers. Of course, you'll always need to find that balance between evergreen content and the things that people new to your list won't grow bored with. And bringing new content to your autoresponder is vital to keeping people engaged and to keep them opening your emails so that when they do get your offers, not only will they see them, they'll be receptive to receiving them and open to clicking on them so that they can buy. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. In conclusion, now there are some other purposes that your PLR can serve that will help to give you leverage in your business. Of course, you can always repurpose some of your content for social media. This will always give you an edge in terms of being able to provide the people who watch you on social media valuable content. You can also repurpose to different forms of PLR. So in other words, you can turn text into audio, you can turn audio to video, all those things to repurpose things into forms that will give your audience, wherever they are, more content from you in the form they expect. You can always repurpose for blog content. If you are a regular blogger and your audience expects good content, cutting edge content, PLR is a great way to deliver it if you're willing to customize it and give it to your audience in the way that they expect. Everything can be Everything can be repurposed for video content, whether or not it's something you get from a PDF, an audio, even another video can be repurposed for video content that you can make unique for your audience. You can repurpose for podcast content. Now, typically this is going to involve you learning the content or reading the content or having talking points. But the fact that no one's going to see you on camera and you are going to be delivering content to people who have come to listen to you so you can get knowledge on a topic and bring it to your audience using PLR. Now, you can repurpose some content for published content. Now, you do need to be careful about that. There are filters that will keep out PLR. You have to rewrite PLR, and you can only use it for ideas. You can only use it for inspiration. If you use it word for word and you change word, it's very likely that you could be caught by spam filters and you could be caught by PLR filters with companies like Amazon. So if you choose to use PLR for published content, use it for the ideas and not directly for the line by line content. So now in this course, we've discussed 11 different ways to leverage PLR in your online business. Regardless of what kind of business you already run, PLR can help you save time and effort. As you hit any content-based barrier, stop and think whether or not you could use high-quality PLR to bridge the gap. For example, are you going to need to add more value to your product? Well, then you can use PLR to solve that problem. Are you going to write a book? We just talked about that. You can actually use PLR, again, if you're willing to use it for the ideas. Do you need to create more content for your subscribers? You can definitely repurpose PLR of all forms, of all types, in order to deliver content to your subscribers. Would you like to build your authority as a leader in your niche? Well, getting the depth of knowledge in your niche can be as close as the next 3 or 4 PLR products on a particular topic. Do you need to make presentations more informative when you give them? Well, always beef them up with additional PLR. If any of these things sound like something you need to do, you've now seen 11 ways that you can use your PLR to accomplish them. And the good thing about the methods you've been shown is that they can easily be adapted to solve other content and information marketing related roadblocks. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I'll see you either in another video or in another course. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to be discussing you using your PLR pretty much as it is. And you're going to be using it without putting a lot of work into it. And you're going to turn it into your own product almost as soon as you get it. And this is really and truly one of the best ways to leverage PLR by using it immediately, as soon as you purchase it, as a product that you're going to brand with your name. What you're leveraging is your time. You're not going to put the time and effort necessarily into creating your own product. You're going to buy this product. You're going to put it in front of people who you know are going to have an interest in the subject matter of what the product is showing them how to do. And of course, to do this, you're going to want to have an existing email marketing list. You need to have some subscribers already. And if possible, what you're going to want to have done is you're going to want to have gone through the pre-sale process. You're going to want to have days ahead of time told your email marketing list that a product is coming. A product is coming about a certain subject matter, and you're going to start to describe how this product is going to meet their needs and solve some of the problems that maybe they're having, or even help them to accomplish some of the goals that you already know they have. And you can really most effectively do this if you already know when that product is going to be launched. So obviously, you're going to want to have looked at the product launch calendar on places like Muncheye and JV Notify so that you can purchase it when it comes out. And then you can literally get in front of the people that you're going to be mailing to. Now, obviously, you're going to want to make sure it connects your customers to a real problem that they're having or one that they want to solve. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're going to be tailoring the PLR product to meet a particular need, or angling it or slanting it so that it's talking about something that they really do have an interest in. And to do that, you're going to want to make sure that you're adding very unique components so that even if the base product all by itself is going to be the same as others are selling, your offer is still going to be unique because you're still adding those unique aspects, unique components, and you are pushing it toward a particular problem that you know they're having. Now, there are several ways to take a PLR product and make it your own unique offer. So we're going to talk about those now. Now, one of the things you can do is add interviews. So you can go out and find experts who can talk about the subject matter or talk about different problem areas of the subject matter. Again, tailoring it to the needs of your audience or your email marketing list. You can also go out and find case studies. And this is slightly different because what you're going to do is you're going to find those case studies that fit the problem areas, and you're going to find the actual solution. So rather than get someone who's going to teach the people on some kind of audio, you're going to find the problem and the solution all in one area, maybe a document, maybe an article, and you're going to give it to your customers in a way so that they know other people have already solved the problem that they're trying to solve, and it's documented how they solve it. You can also add some unique bonuses. Now, you can bring some pieces of content to the mix. You can bring other pieces of other PLR, or you can bring other resale rights content. You're going to add those unique components that you can bring and add to the project so that your customer is really getting something that they can't get from any place else. The key to this is really creating a unique selling proposition with your product. You're going to be creating something that your customers can only get from you. You can also add new components. So maybe in most PLR products, they're going to get perhaps a checklist, or they're going to get some kind of mind map, but you're going to go one step farther. You're going to add in components that are not part of other PLR products. Again, as close as you can get them to something that your customer would be interested in so that it would help them to solve their particular problem. Now, what you're trying to do ultimately is to make sure that the buyer sees the value in your product. So in other words, they need to look at everything that you are putting into your package. And when they look at it all total, that they look at it as something that they want, that it's worth it for them to spend the actual money. So now, even if they could get it elsewhere, you want them to find and see your particular offer as more valuable for the money they're going to spend, and then they will then be willing to spend that money with you. Now, to make audios and videos unique, you can add in intros. In other words, you can get different pieces of audio and video. You can record it yourself, or you can go out and purchase it, or you can have it done on places like Fiverr or Scriptlance. You can have voiceovers done, and you can add these unique pieces onto your PLR videos and audios, again, to make it something that your customer is not getting from elsewhere. You can add in different transitions. So there are lots of different ways that you can be creative with multimedia, in particular audio and video, by adding those pieces, again, to give your customer a unique experience. Now, to make text unique, you can rewrite it and or reorganize the text. So you want to put it in order of the way that the customer is looking at the problem. So maybe in your slant or in your particular market or niche, the steps that need to be taken are different. You want to reorganize the content so that it fits your particular market, it fits your particular niche. Again, you have text, you definitely want to think about rewriting it because you don't want people to look at the same text as other people are getting. You want to take a unique approach, personalize it if possible. Now, to make documents unique, what you can do is you can add in your logos, you can actually rebrand it, and you can take them as Microsoft Word documents or as word processing documents, and then you can resave them as PDFs, but you can actually do that once you've added in things like logos or you've added in different aspects of your particular brand. Now, the same is true when you get things like checklists and mind maps. They're typically going to come in the form of Microsoft Word or PowerPoint documents. And when that's the case, you definitely don't want to be afraid to change some of the wording or some of the order of things to reflect the things that you've actually said before to the people in your community or in your tribe or in your email marketing list. Ultimately, it's not your job just to sell a product. It's your job to create so much value for your customers that buying your product or buying your offer is going to be a no-brainer to them. So you can definitely leverage your time by getting PLR and almost using it as is. But the more value you add, the more that you change some of the components, the more that you add in different aspects, you create more value and you make your customer more willing to buy. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.